Like, let's talk some golf here.
Oh, that's pure. That is a pure move you made there, Starkey.
Webb Simpson, or a tribute to Casey. Caca. Wins the U.S. Open. If you haven't seen it, folks, guy, goofy hat, comes out in front of the interview with him and Bob Costas and makes a fool out of himself. But I think golf needs a little bit of that. Looking back on the U.S. Open, I tell you what, I saw the tweets that night between the NBA Finals and the U.S. Open. It was on the West Coast, so it went to 10:30 at night.
Yeah, primetime golf. Yeah,
tells you a lot about the television. That you've got golf being primetime on NBC.
There you go.
Their lineup.
There you go.
How do you assess this year's tournament?
It was. I give Webb Simpson a lot of credit because it was such a hard golf course, such a hard golf course setup that everybody else on Sunday, it looked to me like was playing defense, was trying not to implode. Webb Simpson was knocking in the fairway, knocking in the green, reasonable chance at birdie. He was playing offense, and 68-68 on the weekend, 4 under for the last 13 holes on Sunday. That's pretty strong, and nobody can say that he didn't earn this, even though a lot of people are going to talk about the people who lost it, Tiger Woods and our own local guy, Jim Furyk.
Well, I was just going to bring it up. As much as he won it, I was going to talk about the ones that lost it. Mm-hmm. They were almost a bigger story because Furyk looked like he was in great contention to win this thing. What happened with Furyk?
16th hole was all week was a 670-yard par 5, which is the longest golf hole I've ever heard of. I mean, it's like 0.4 of a mile long. And they moved the tee up 100 yards on Sunday for the first time even in practice rounds that they played from that tee. So guys were kind of trying to figure out what they wanted to do. He tried to hit a 3-wood off the tee, which was a pretty aggressive play. A lot of other guys just hit irons or little hybrid clubs and just bumped it out there. And he hit a horrendous duck hook, and it all went downhill from there. It all fell apart from there. And interestingly, in the 2007 U.S. Open, which was at Oakmont, the 17th hole there was a very, very short par 4 that was long enough that you could drive, but it was so severe, the green was so hard and everything, that it made sense, especially for a guy like Furyk, to just hit like a 3-iron off the tee and a wedge onto the green. In both cases, at Oakmont, he hit a driver and went in the left rough and made bogey there, ended up losing the Open by 1 shot. Such a smart, disciplined, controlled player 99.9% of the time, but 2 instances where he got aggressive off the tee at really key high-pressure moments and maybe cost him the U.S. Open.
I was thinking that. He's very controlled normally in those aggressive moments, but it's funny. I applaud guys for being aggressive instead of sometimes holding back.
Well, in general, but I think the U.S. Open, the penalty for missing a shot just a teeny bit is so severe that you really have to. Yeah, you are on the edge.
Can I bring up one more guy? Tiger.
You can.
To me, Tiger is not back until he wins a major. He won. It seems like before each of these big majors, the Masters.
It's happened twice this year.
And
both.
Now, right before this one, And he somewhat basically collapses in these big tourneys. And this one, I think this course was made for him. Big fairways like that you're talking about.
They were big. They weren't really big because it was so severe like this that the effective landing area was really pretty small. I did not think this was a good golf course for Tiger, but he played really well the first 2 days. The second 2 days he didn't. The whole thing about is Tiger back misses the point. He's never going to be what he was. He is never going to be consistently what he was a decade ago. That's gone forever. He has scar tissue now like all other golfers. The difference between him and everybody else's scar tissue is because the game is so damn hard. Tiger, it's entirely self-inflicted. It's entirely decisions that he made in terms of managing his career. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I talk about this all the time. I write about it all the time. But is he back? No, he's not back. And the Tiger that we think of when we think of Tiger is never coming back.
Well, they were in the West Coast last year, but you're going to cover it in the U.S. Open next year.
We do want to mention it's Ardmore. It's an hour and a half down the road at Marion Golf Club in suburban Philly, which is maybe the most historically and architecturally important golf course in America.
Wow.
But it has a lot of issues that we thought it was impossible for them to host a U.S. Open for a lot of reasons, which we'll get into as time passes here. But they think they've solved those issues, and it's really, really interesting. I can't wait to go to this U.S. Open, and we are definitely going to be talking about it over the coming months.